Hi, welcome to Digitally Overwhelmed. This space is for therapists and counselors who are looking to get found in Google and heal more of the world. My name is Cynthia and I'm your host. My goal is to help you understand exactly what you need to focus on next in your digital presence to grow your business and attract more of the people you're meant to help without getting digitally overwhelmed. You can get more information about the podcast at digitalbloomiq.com. Hey, welcome to the Digitally Overwhelmed podcast. I'm Cynthia Pacheco, your host, and I run Digital Bloom IQ, where we help therapists and health and wellness brands grow their business through search marketing and heal more of the world. This is episode 247 of the podcast. And I'm super excited because I want to be talking to you a little bit about the E.A.S.E process. So I am all about making marketing, digital marketing, and SEO easeful, something that just is kind of like you're gliding through it, you're figuring things out, and it doesn't have to feel overwhelming, which is very much on point with this podcast overall, because I think that's like the bigger theme of the podcast, obviously, is like which parts of our marketing are feeling heavy and overwhelming, and how can we get out of that and make it more effective, right? And so many times we feel like it has to be hard or it has to be complicated, and it's actually quite the opposite. The simpler, the more kind of straightforward our strategy, the more effective our results, and we're also going to be able to learn from what we're doing with our SEO. So I did have previously a process called AIM, and I feel really great about the AIM process, but I realized that for you guys who are listening to this, the AIM process maybe was more of a technical view of how to take on SEO. And so I decided to create a new process called the E.A.S.E process, which I hope will speak more clearly to what it's like to work with Digital Bloom IQ, what it's like to get the results from your SEO, from your website, and just really have a great experience, right? So not just get those results, but really feel like, hey, this is something I can sustain and keep doing over time. All right, so let's just dive in. So what does E.A.S.E stand for? E-A-S-E. So the first one is evaluate. Then we have action, systematize, and excitement. So I'm going to go through each of these and just talk to you about each of the steps, I guess, as part of the E.A.S.E process. And this specifically applies to the SEO retainers, although honestly, I'm thinking that the E.A.S.E process will just be an overarching theme of all things Digital Bloom IQ, but especially the SEO retainers, since that's where our team gets the most involved in your website and your SEO strategy, and where we take the most action. So evaluate. So really, to me, this is like, we can't get to where you want to go if we don't know where we're standing. And I've seen time and time again, 50% of the work around getting ranking is just understanding, where am I ranking today? And you'll be surprised. I've seen more times than not, people are already ranking in things that are actually pretty good. And so we can learn from that and take that and just kind of optimize it even more. So, I've had multiple clients where it's like they're doing well, they're ranking, they're even getting leads. And so how can we replicate that page one of Google? How can we find new keywords and new strategies and create content that's already kind of working in that direction and make use of what we know is working? So that happens in the step of evaluate, because if we don't understand not just kind of like where your site is ranking, but also like, what are your goals? Like, what do you envision SEO doing for you? I mean, obviously bringing you leads and sales, but like, how is it tied into the rest of your marketing? How is it working cohesively? And again, this can be super simple. Like, you have a podcast, so you're going to have an SEO blog post go out each week with your podcast, or you have a bunch of social media posts that we can take and make a blog post, or you like to record yourself speaking about things, and we can take that, transcribe it, and then turn that into a blog post. So there's just different ways to create content. And I feel a lot of my clients get stuck of like, oh, I have to sit down, like glue my butt to the chair, and that's where the SEO magic's going to happen. And honestly, not. Like, let's be honest, our most creative time does not happen with our butt glued to the chair. So the cool part of what we do on our side as the DBIQ team is we actually bring together that strategy so that the content creation process, if you're not wanting to bring on a copywriter, because that's another option, but if you want to be really at the heart of that, we make it easy, we make it simple so that you're not having to do kind of that the heavy lifting of the actual writing, unless you like that. But we can like look at different ways to recycle, reuse, like transform content that already exists that can be ranked in Google. So the evaluate phase is really about understanding your business, understanding your website, understanding your goals, and really going forward with that in mind so we can measure the results and measure that progress. And that's something I'm super passionate about because I want to show my clients all the time, not just what tasks are we completing, but how are we doing, towards that goal? How many clicks are we getting? How are we ranking? How many sales are we getting? How many leads and newsletter signups are we getting, or opt-in downloads, course sales? So we can measure all that. And that's something that has to happen at the beginning in terms of defining what do we even want to measure. All right, so that's the evaluate phase. The next up is action, which ties very much into what I was just saying of taking action on what we see is working, what we feel we could do more of. And the cool part about this action phase is that that's mostly on the DBIQ team. So we create content, we upload the content, we make any sort of structural or technical changes to a website that might be stopping it from ranking. So this could be like site speed issues or how your URL is set up. So I don't want to get into too much of the technical stuff, but there's definitely some things that do happen behind the scenes that can be impacting your ranking. And so that's what we really want to help you get out of the way, get it off your plate. You don't even need to really understand it. We just get it off and get it done. And the cool thing about the retainer as well is that since retainers are 3, 6, 12 months of SEO work, we're really continuously working on these things. So yes, there's like bulk of work that gets done at the beginning many times, but then we're always maintaining, we're always, working on this stuff. And that can feel a lot less overwhelming for a lot of my clients because your website's like your online home and you're making changes, maybe your team is making changes. And so if there isn't an optimal time for us to be making some of these changes, we would coordinate that with you and to make sure that we're not, impeding with any launch or anything like that. So it's kind of an ongoing engagement and we really make it easy on your side and we make sure that we're not stopping your team or making it more complicated for your team. But at the same time, keeping an eye on things and making sure that, the ranking is good and all that. Okay, so that's action. And the third step, which I love so much, is systematize. So once we see kind of what's your sweet spot, we have our methodology that we see what works for our clients, specifically for therapists, health and wellness businesses. So this can be, coaches, this could be anybody in the health and wellness space as well. We have our kind of like our knobs and different things that we touch that we know do well and get websites ranked. So we apply that to your business and to your website, but then there's personalization that happens within that. And so once we find that sweet spot, which to be honest, it does take a few months to find, and in some cases, maybe a year or so. And that's why we have longer term engagements. But once we find that, it's just about repeating that over and over again. And that's another great reason for the SEO retainers is that we just take charge of that systemization of doing it again. And all you need to do is kind of plug in, whether it's the content piece or just double checking a few things. And that's just kind of running in the background. So we are really working as your SEO hands, your agency for SEO and just getting those leads coming from your website while you're running your business, you're helping your clients, you're doing your magic and we're doing ours. And again, there is always personalization. So it's not like we're just blindly, kind of, I don't know, publishing blogs and, figuring out if they rank later. We're making these changes, we're monitoring the results, but there's really kind of this ongoing process of certain things go out each month and they just happen, right? So you don't have to even think about it. And then the last part, which I love so much, is excitement. So the idea behind this excitement is this emotion of like, wow, my website's bringing me leads. Wow, like someone said to me today, I found you on Google and that's why I bought your course, or that's why I purchased your services. And so that excitement behind your website, not everybody feels that. And I feel like that's your right. Like you invested this time, this money, energy into creating a beautiful online home, and it needs to be doing its job, right? And if you're not feeling excited about your website, about the results it's providing for your business, for how it's helping you scale or reach whatever that next level is, it's going to be hard for those results to be there. So that excitement, that emotion is so part of this process, and it has to be there, right? It has to be part of this experience, which is what we're so passionate about. So I know that in my own SEO, and this was kind of the inspiration behind the E.A.S.E process, I was feeling overwhelmed with my own SEO strategy for digitalbloomiq.com. And so I sat down, I'm like, how can we lighten this? How can we make this easy? And this is what I came up with. And this has been applied to the actual work we do. And so because it's working for me, I want to pass it on to my clients, and I want them to feel the way I do, just excitement, like momentum forward, those results. I see clicks, I see movement. Just today I was looking at my keywords, and I see some new keywords that I'm putting out there that are getting some traction. And so that motivates me to keep going. It motivates me to keep measuring those results and to just keep believing that SEO is just a crucial part of my marketing strategy. And to wrap up this episode, I want to read some words from one of our clients, Taylor Neuendorp. He is a therapist, and we've been working together for the last few years. I actually have a specific case study for Taylor's traffic, so I'm going to link that in the show notes. But I also wanted to share a little bit of what Taylor said about working with us, because really this idea of having an SEO agency that you're excited to work with, that's just so important to me, right? And getting those results, but also feeling like, okay, this is something, these are people that I want to ask questions of, I want to engage with, I want to partner with, and just grow my business. Okay, so this is what Taylor had to say from our work together. So thank you so much for your continued help and guidance for the last 10 months. I can't imagine moving forward without your continued support, so I'd like to take advantage of your retainer option. As I've mentioned, and I'm sure you've noticed during our work together, I have so much going on, and I'm perpetually behind in being able to follow through with and take full advantage of all your suggestions. We are actually having a very hard time keeping up with the high demand for our services, and that is due in a large part to you. I have just hired another therapist, and I'm hoping to bring on another one within the next 1 to 2 months, so I'll have more staff to help with the content in addition to serving the numerous inquiries we continue to get. I can't thank you enough for helping our little practice grow. So this just shows that, and Taylor, they are doing their own content. So if this is, if this is the option you choose inside the SEO retainer, yes, you need to write that. But like we said, we facilitate it. We give you outlines. We make it so that it's easy to write content, and it's not something where you're just starting with a blank page and you have no idea what to do. But you can see just how much, not just they've thrived from our work together, but there's like measurable results here where they know where the clients came from. They know that they're being ranked on Google, and they, Taylor understands that this is an ongoing thing. And once you get momentum going with your SEO, it's like just something that kind of keeps snowballing, which is really, really exciting and just so cool, right? So I wanted to share that. I'm going to link to Taylor's specific traffic results if that's what you're wanting to look at. But I just really want you to know that you deserve a website that is working for your business and is really helping you sell. And you also deserve to feel excited about your online home and kind of what it's doing for you. So right now, inside the SEO Retainer, we work with a handful of clients each year. Currently, we're a little past, well, quite past the midpoint of 2022, and we're looking to take on 5 additional SEO retainers for this year. So if this is something that you want to get started with, you want to start seeing results, you want experts to actually, to basically tell you exactly what to do, to take that off your plate and get that going for you, then this is a good option for you. This is our highest way of working together. And the cool thing is that once you start this going, you're going to continue to see results, not just in the next year, but in the years to come. So it is really an investment kind of going forward into your business that's going to continue to serve you and to grow. You can get more information about the SEO retainers by going to digitalbloomiq.com/aim. So that's the old URL. But if you just go to digitalbloomiq.com and then under services tab, you look at done for you SEO, that will be the section, the sales page. And there is an application process. We want to make sure that you're in the right place. And if you're not, we'll give you some other ideas. But it's just such an honor to be able to work with you and clients like Taylor. So we want to make sure that we're, selecting the right clients. All right, my friends, thank you so much. I'll catch you next week on the podcast. Bye. Hey, just wanted to quickly say thank you so much for listening to the podcast. It means a lot to me that you're here and that you're taking action on your search marketing and your marketing in general. You can check out show notes and additional resources for each podcast episode by going to digitalbloomiq.com/podcast. And if you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe, rate and review, and share this with a fellow therapist or friend. The more people that find the podcast and share it, it just allows it to grow and help more businesses just like you to improve their SEO and improve their digital marketing. Thank you again so much, and I'll catch you on next week's episode. Bye.